Hey everyone, I should be live now, I think. I hate this delay though, it's hard for me to tell. Oh boy. Hey Shaz, hey Just Us, Rena Rue, Angel, Laura, Camilla, Angie Dare One, Double Mint, what else did I forget? And Selfie Queen Cindy, thank you for becoming a member. Wow, so how is everyone tonight? Yeah, I actually had a chance to come on early tonight. I didn't have to work tonight, so. And there's actually some stuff that happened today, so I thought, oh, cool. Now I have stuff to present. The shade of this title. I thought it was funny. Oh God. Hey, please, wife, star. What's it? Phantasmagorical? Oh my God, that's such a fun name. Now that I've sounded it out. Phantasmagorical. I'm guessing that's how it's pronounced. It's cool though. Hi, Diaz, Sherry, Jennifer, Liz, Sunny Dancel. It's cool. John and Tamara, April, Sherry. How is everyone tonight? It's been an eventful 20. Yeah, it has. And I hope you meet Laura. I hope you meet on social media. I hope like you haven't personally had like a whole bunch of crap happen. Tony's book club is called to order. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, so I wanted to, as far as his book club goes, I noticed a couple of things, or I noticed one thing really that kind of jumped out at me. I'm sure like you guys have all seen the screenshots. If not, though, I downloaded them. With the double cup. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was in a hurry, so. Hey, enough is enough. Kentucky girl, T King, Patty D, Mingo Mish, Tina Collery. Hey, what's up? Okay, so in case for those who haven't seen the screenshots yet, I will put them both up. See, Todd Reeds. There we go. So this is the. Where is it now? Okay. So yeah, this is just to show that the account is his under Goodreads. Like and I looked it up and everything myself. They have now since deleted his account and now you can't pull it up. But earlier, like right after I shared the tweet, I went and pulled it up and I looked and yeah, it was really there and everything. Because I thought, what if they try to like lie this away or excuse it away or something? But no, it was there. But what I thought was most interesting though, because I mean we all saw the Mein Kampf there review, but what I thought was interesting about that was how, yeah, it's coming through. Okay. If you look right over here, he added it 2015. So I'm guessing that means that he reviewed it in 2015, and I'm not positive when he joined Goodreads, but I didn't expressly look or whatever, but I didn't notice anything before 2015, so I don't know. But I mean, that was just 6 years ago. So I mean, like at least with the whole Moribund Records or whatever, that was in 2009. I mean, that was 11 years. That was over a decade ago. I don't know. I think you can maybe get a little more leeway with that. Like you just didn't know, you didn't realize, whatever. But this was just like a few years ago. I don't know, man. That just kind of stood out to me. Hey, Jessica, thank you for becoming a member. But I read lots of ARCs, so I do lots of reviewing. I don't know what that means. ARCs? Should I know that? I feel like I should know that. Hey, Pink Flamingo. Oh, shoot, that's right. I gotta look up that video for you. I can do that now real quick. Okay, maybe I can. I think that one though, I think that was under her Katie Joy account. Let's see. If not here, then it might have been. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yes, I believe that was it. So Pink Flamingo, I will grab the link and post it there for you. There you go. There you go. That's the video you asked me about. That in my last video I made. This is the video you had asked me about that I used. So sorry, I'm late. Sorry, but there you go. Can you post member? Oh yeah, membership. I always forget that. Thank you. Thank you. Where do I find that? There we go. Okay. There you go. Thank you. All right. So sorry, I wasn't. Yeah, it is pretty ridiculous. Yeah, he took 4-star review for Mein Kampf, and he did it just a few years ago. That's what stood out to me. I don't know. Hey, Annette, can you post? Okay, membership link. Got that. Hey, Dominus, the Amber chick, Diash, Eileen, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Chaidu Idozi. I'm sure I butchered it, and I apologize. Oh, okay. So, and that the whole read any good books lately is kind of a joke or whatever, because it come to find out, Katie's husband Todd has a Goodreads account, which that in itself is no big deal. But he gave a 4-star review to Mein Kampf, and he did this just like a few years ago, like in 2015, so 6 years ago. Hey, Shermarth and Dad Amber Chip, thank you for becoming members. Hey, Cindy. So yeah, that's what I don't know. I don't know. I caught part of Charlotte's live. That's like the only one though I caught so far today. So I don't know if anyone else really was talking. Just how it was 2015. That wasn't too long ago. No, Marissa. He actually there was like 50 books or something like that he gave a review on that he's claims to have read. I don't know. I mean, there were a couple of them that were weird, but I mean, I can't hold that against him. I kind of like some weird shit too. But the Mein Kampf thing, I mean, honestly, I would read it just out of curiosity, but I don't think I'd be going around giving reviews or caring to give a review, good or bad. I just wouldn't care. Just you read it for curiosity and then that's over. So. Yeah, to be fair, the screenshot only shows he added it to his list, but hasn't read and hasn't reviewed the 4 stars as other users. No, oh, okay. Oh, so he didn't rate it. Okay. Shoot, I wish I looked at there was a list of ones that he had rated. Either way, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's. I mean, I get that, and honestly, out of curiosity, I could see reading it, and I mean, how better to, I mean, know thy enemy, sort of thing, So if you are just, staunchly against racism of any kind, then you kind of have to get to know racist a little bit, I think. So, I mean, I get reading it. I completely understand reading it, but I don't know, just to add it to a list or whatever, like it's, I don't know, just a book that you want to be like associated like with your life or whatever, your preferences, I don't know. That's just kind of weird, I think. But that's just me. Okay, now besides that, I have And I just deleted it, didn't I? Oh, son of I know, I'm sure some of you guys have seen that video that was going around where Katie makes those comments about autism. I think the video has since been removed from YouTube. However, I downloaded it like the second I found out it was still on YouTube. So I thought I'd play that for those who didn't see it yet. I just got to forward ahead to that part. All right, it's right on there. Okay. How to write it when you don't know how. Oh, you're writing a memoir? Oh my God, that's awesome. That's so cool. Well, a lot of the books on his list had to do with his heritage, the whole Icelandic Norse sort of thing, I guess, heathens or whatever. I don't mean to, if I sound like kind of insulting or rude, I don't mean to. It's just I just don't understand it. I mean, but I have nothing against it. I mean, that's all. I'm just ignorant about it. So I mean nothing by it when I say it like that. I don't even mean to say it like that. Dr. Kress, yeah, that's what I thought too. But someone pointed out though that it doesn't look like he rated it, just that he added it to his list that he had read it. Here, I'll pull that back up. There we go. Yeah, so like here, the rating, and then it says my rating. I'm guessing that means like Todd's rating, and there's no rating. And it said, I don't know if that means read or read, but it was on his list of books that he had read, because there were like 50 or 51 books that he had read, and then there's 11 that was on his wants to read list or whatever. So, and this was on his had read. Yeah, okay, yeah, 51 here read, want to read 11. So. And here's the laugh. I was trying to do laundry and thought I broke the washer. Turns out I forgot to turn the water back on from last night after fiddling with the washer. I do. I forget to turn the washer on all the time. Like I'll switch the clothes over to the dryer, then I'll fill the washer, I'll put the detergent in, I'll close the top, and then I'll just walk away. I do it like all the time. I think why I added it all just because it's like a kind of I guess you could say social media site about reading, as much as one could be like that. So you kind of want to like list the books that you have read, so you can follow people can follow you. You guys can kind of compare, reading preferences, maybe learn about new books and stuff like that. I mean, that's the impression I got from the website, anyways. My rating is the person looking up Todd's account. The 4 stars is Todd's. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. All right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay. Actually, yeah, that would make sense. Okay. That makes sense, because now that rating is 3.17, I'm guessing that's like the overall rating for the book, like what the average of everyone's rating. And then this rating here, 4 stars, I'm guessing that's Todd's. And then my rating would be the person who's looking at this, like you said. I'm guessing. Todd did. Okay. See? Cool. Awesome. Well, not awesome, but awesome. Awesome that I understand. Yeah, there's not. I mean, I don't fault anyone for reading it. I mean, I'd be curious too. Like I mentioned earlier, kind of know thy enemy. If you're against white supremacy and everything, then what better thing to understand than white supremacy? I mean, just to understand how they think, their tenets, their way of life or something. So you can just, I don't know, better counter them. He put it as good reading. Okay, so go back to the video. Like I said, I noticed it's been since deleted from YouTube. So I don't know if everyone here had already seen the small video clip that was shared on Twitter. I think what was it, yesterday, I think it was, or the day before maybe, where it's from a few years ago, where Katie was talking with these two other women, and Katie just kind of had some, I don't know, pretty disparaging things, I guess, to say about autism. Kind of bleak. That's the impression I got. Like, she doesn't hold much hope, or I don't know, just expectations, I guess, for her child. Maybe that's the impression I get. I could be wrong. In the interest of transparency here, none of my kids are autistic. I know no one with autism. I am probably the most inexperienced person ever when it comes to autism. So just, if I say anything that's kind of rude or insensitive, please call me out on it, because I just don't know. I really just don't know. So. Okay, so I'm going to see if I got the spot or not.
We've talked about this, so I don't know if he's just a guy who thinks that she's been manipulated before and he can control her, which he is. By all means, he is controlling her.
He's not encouraging her to get help.
He's not encouraging her to get help.
Okay. No.
Stance the whole time. I thought
whether or not you like them or not shouldn't be the factor.
No, exactly.
If you're going to take a story which is going to make you millions
portrayed poorly, well, then she actually said in that conversation with me, I said, well, Gypsy, your mom is saying that, you're concerned about how Aaliyah's being portrayed. And she goes, oh, well, Aaliyah can go fuck herself. And I was just like, what? She goes, I don't care about Aaliyah.
Autism is
okay, there we go.
Portrayed Aaliyah in a poor light. They just made her look like a teenage girl with normal teenage.
Just so everyone knows what we're doing here. Like I said, we're listening to Katie's just comments about autism. Who she's talking to, though, I'm not sure who these women are, but I think that they're like documentary filmmakers or series makers or something. And who they're talking about is the Gypsy Rose, I think. The child whose mother likely had factitious disorder, Munchausen by proxy, and the daughter had killed the mother, and the daughter is now in jail. So if that helps. I mean, I don't know much about the story. I learned probably most of my knowledge about the story from this video. So, but all right. I'm guessing everyone heard it because I'm not seeing no sound or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Teenage life.
Okay, but what's the problem? Why is Gypsy mad about the act?
Because it makes her look really damn bad.
Well, she murdered her mom.
I think they played up on Nick's autism and made him look way more innocent than he is.
He is absolutely developmentally delayed and should not be in prison.
Not as much as people think.
Not as much as people think.
That is really the specialists have all contradicted themselves. When you read emails that he does, he is intelligent.
But that doesn't. You can be intelligent and autistic.
Yeah, no, autistic, absolutely. No, not the same. No,
but he's not developmentally slow in any means. No.
But autism is considered a developmental disability.
It's considered a neurological disability.
No, it affects all aspects of development. My son is autistic, so
okay. Do you believe that your son could be manipulated into murdering somebody?
Yes,
you do.
Yes.
Why? And how? And where is your son at on the spectrum?
He's high functioning.
He's high functioning. Why do you think that could happen?
Because they're vulnerable.
Because you're actually the first one that we've talked to that has said that.
I think anyone that has autism can be manipulated because they're vulnerable.
Have you seen him his actual text messages and his words?
Nick's?
Yes.
Not all of them, no.
Yeah, they're pretty scary.
He's very much a manipulator all on his own.
Well, no, I'm not saying he also has like some sort of psychosis or something, doesn't he?
He doesn't have DID. He doesn't have any of the things that he claims. Is he definitely got mental problems? Absolutely. Do we know what they are? No, we don't.
Because he doesn't believe in doctors and medication, so it doesn't.
Does he have like multiple personalities or?
No.
Nope, those are made up.
That is a part of the BDSM world and role play. That has nothing at all to do with the ID. Doesn't even fit the ID.
So what?
Nope.
ID, you mean intellectual disability? Or what?
DID,
Dissociative identity disorder.
Okay.
Which is what multiple personalities is.
He doesn't have multiple personalities.
How is it that she didn't know that that's what multiple personality disorder is referred to now? I mean, I get that most people know it as multiple personality disorder, but anyone who does any kind of writing or anything about mental disorders or behavioral disorder, anything, they're going to know about the name change, I guess, or the classification difference, whatever, between that and Munchausen by proxy. They're going to know that that's now called factitious disorder. I mean, how does she not know that? I thought that it was very weird.
Personalities. He does not have DID. He's been evaluated for both. He does not have them.
So he has autism, or
he has autism. He is on what would have been originally known as Asperger's. So I guess that's autism
level 1.
Yeah, autism 1. It was even the expert that the prosecution brought forward in the trial to talk about his autism. One is not an actual autism expert.
Defense or the prosecution?
Prosecution. So, or no, for the defense.
Feel like she manipulated him into doing this?
I think they manipulated each other.
Yeah, I think they played off each other. They were two very toxic people that were a dynamite together. I mean, they manipulated
his on that Oxygen interview. Mm-hmm. It's part of my French, but he's scary as fuck.
Oh, honey, that's mild.
That's mild.
I have eight emails from him to another girl from inside prison that every single one of them scares the shit out of me.
Wow.
And he's not.
He talks about healing again. He talks about wanting to kill.
All right, I can keep playing it if you guys want, but I believe that's all the discussion about autism, anyways. At least from Katie is. But yeah, I couldn't believe that. I mean, like, I think we all worry that our kids can, are going to end up kind of naive or gullible or whatever. So I mean, I get her concern and everything, but to just already have him written off as someone that could just be manipulated into committing murder, which I like to point out. I forget who it was. Someone pointed out that it wasn't Gypsy who killed her mother. It was the boyfriend, the young man that they're talking about. I had that incorrect. Sorry. So, but yeah, I mean, she has her son pretty much just written off as someone who could be manipulated into killing someone. I mean, and this was, I want to say 2019. So just for the hell of it, let's say 2 years ago. So her son, I think, is 8 now. So her son would have been like 6. So how can you really have any kind of inclination what your son is going to be like when he's older, when he's 6 years old? I mean, to just already have him written off as someone who's going to grow up socially impaired to the point that he could be manipulated that far. I find it sad. I find it bleak, very dim. I mean, and her son, I mean, I've only seen him on camera a few times or whatever, but you hear him in the background often. And he seems so capable, he's so inquisitive, so engaging, engaged. I don't get it. I don't get the grim outlook. Yeah, I'm guessing he was around 6. If this was in 2019, yeah, her son would have been around 6. Maybe like I think he's like 7 for like a few months, a couple months out of the year or something. Yeah, it's crazy to say that about your kid at that age. It is. Yeah, that's what I took away from it too. She thinks that everyone on the spectrum can be manipulated so easily. She thinks that just because you're on the spectrum, you are socially inadequate to that degree. I mean, I think we can all be kind of socially inadequate at times and on the spectrum, of course, but I mean, there's socially inadequate or socially delayed, and then there's, I mean, just brainwashed or manipulated into murder. I mean, I don't know, that just seems like kind of an extreme. She makes her kid out to be worse than he is because she wants him to be worse than he is. She wants the sympathy of him being sick and debilitated. You know, maybe. I think that if she had a choice, she would have a kid, neurotypical, I guess is what maybe the phrase is. I think if she had a choice, that's what she would have, just someone without all these, conditions or whatever. But since she doesn't have a choice, I feel like she wants the sympathy. She wants the I don't know, people feel sorry for her or something, I guess. I don't know. Which, I mean, and I don't mean to judge because all my kids are not healthy and everything. So, I mean, I don't know what it's like to have a child other than that. So I don't think I can really judge, but I don't know, it just seems, I can't imagine just looking at your kid and just feeling like that kind of hopeless, I guess. That's because she manipulates everyone, so she thinks that's how everyone is. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. I think that too, that's why I think that when she looks at people or people in a situation and when her mind instantly and immediately goes to, well, this person's like the worst possible person, like if, like with the GoFundMe campaigns, whatever, it's like almost everyone that she looks at, she thinks that it's bullshit. And you kind of wonder, well, why is it? Why do you think everyone is bullshit? Why do you think that they're all so full of shit? And it's, well, because maybe it's something she would do. I mean, I think we all do that. So SBA feels terrible. These women don't have friends, neighbors, or community, which is why they're invested in. Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't know who these other two women are. I have no idea. I think they do run a Facebook page called By Proxy. I don't even like autism isn't like even like their area of interest, I guess, or activity. It's more the Munchausen by proxy, from what I gather. Yeah, Pink Flamingo, I heard that too. I heard that they were given the choice, but they were told like he would have very likely like dealt with a whole bunch of GI issues, through eating and everything if they removed it. So I think that, I mean, I'm not saying I would have made the same choice, but I don't know. I just feel like I don't know, if you don't need the tube, why have it? I just feel like it's a foreign object in the body. If it's not needed, why have it? But if it's needed, if removing it's going to cause more issues than having it, then yeah, absolutely keep it. But I don't know. I mean, I know nothing about her son's. I'm not even sure what all the conditions are. I remember seeing a list and a screenshot, but I don't know who made the list. So I don't know. Jennifer, my daughter's autistic and couldn't walk until age 6 and had brain injury from birth. And I never thought she didn't have potential and just gave up on her. She is now a lovely functioning 22-year-old. That's awesome. Yeah. See, I don't think I could just I don't think I could ever write my kids off for anything. It's a 5-minute procedure. What is to remove the tube? See, I know nothing about this stuff, but yeah, I hear you, Amber. Yeah, the no pituitary gland, I heard. Something with his brain there. I don't know. I think that's why he needs a shunt or something. I think that's it. Did you see her video of her saying how her? Oh my God, wasn't that an older one? She had like the big like gaming headphones on or something. Yeah, I probably am Pink Flamingo. I don't know. I don't agree with so much of the things she says and does, and her views and her, whatever. But when it comes to this, I know nothing about this. Like I can imagine and put myself in her shoes and like so many situations. And I feel like so many of the things that she reacts to and engages in, I feel like, I can relate to her, but I relate to her in the sense that like, that's how I would have responded like 20, 30 years ago, not today. But when it comes to this, to having a sick child, I can't relate to it at all, thankfully. I mean, one of my kids had pneumonia twice as a toddler. That's it. So, I mean, I don't know how I would respond or how. I mean, I don't think I would respond like this. I think I would never give up on my kids. I would never lose faith or hope or, I would see my kids for all that they're capable of. I don't know. But anyways, so yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, it's just her comments though about the autism, just how she thinks anyone with autism, if they're on the spectrum, then they can just be easily manipulated. And now maybe that's true for when they're younger, when I think pretty much anyone can be manipulated, like in our adolescence. But I mean, we're talking here like young adults, basically. And we're talking murder. We're not talking staying out to midnight or I don't know, like going to a party or throwing a party at your parents' house, shit like that. We're not talking that. We're talking murder. But Bibbidi Bobbidi, I don't know. Does Todd have that bleak perspective on their son too? I have no idea. I really don't. Okay, well, you know what? Wait, right, this is a court case of murder. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's oh my God, too. If you want, I can play more parts of this video because she at one point calls herself a journalist. She goes on into and speaks as though she is speaking from a place of authority when it comes to mental disorders or behavioral disorders or whatever. And it's oh my God. Yeah, I feel like Todd's probably the one that has more patience with the child and everything. I mean, I think when it comes to when you have two parents in the household with kids, there's always one parent that has more patience, I think just in their household, it's Todd. All right, so tell you what, I can play more clips of this video. If that's what you want, press 1, or I can do a preview run for my new video. I was going to do it tomorrow, but we can do it tonight. So if you want my video, hit 2. If you want this video that's on the screen, hit 1. One and 2. All right, we'll tell you what, we'll do this one now. And my video is like 13 or 14 minutes long, so it's not super long. So we can do that afterwards. But here, let me rewind this one. Now this one's like, it's an hour long. But they don't really talk about much after this. They kind of like, the two women, I think, kind of rush off the call with her.
Funny. Hey, Katie. Okay, so
I'm just gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get another soda, but I'll be right back.
I'm so sorry that I didn't realize that you were the same Katie. Like, that was so funny because
yeah.
It just, the name didn't click for me.
It's okay.
I just kind of thought you were just another reporter, and I was like, oh no, I'm not talking to you. Because that week that you contacted me back, like, we've had so many people contacting us because the on again, off again engagement announced. So I was just like, no comment.
Yeah. I get it.
So, so you've known Laurel a long time, or just through the Schofield?
I would say, I met her online.
Right.
I started covering Susan Schofield in February.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I met her shortly thereafter. I actually met her on Kiwi Farms because I went on there because I noticed that a lot of them were talking about it there. And I was like, I'm a reporter and I like cover this kind of stuff. And of course it's Kiwi Farms and they're crazy. And, but I met a couple of really nice people, including Laurel, who I became friends with on Facebook, and we stayed connected. And actually just talked to Michael Schofield yesterday.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. And I just wanted to let you know I am recording, but I'm not going to use it for anything. It's just for us to go back to if we need to later or something.
These other two women, they are Hey Who 3. They are I think they're like documentary, like filmmakers or TV show makers. They also, I believe, run the Facebook page by proxy. Basically, they've been pretty much involved with the whole Gypsy Rose situation, story, or whatever since, I don't know, for a while now. That's all I know about them, really. This is the first time I've ever seen or heard of them. So, but they are associated with their Facebook page. I don't know if they run it, or if they're like admins, but they are associated with it.
Or something, but anyway, well, I wanted to talk to you. Obviously, I know you do a lot of the Munchausen by proxy stuff, which have you been doing that a long time? I know what you do. I just don't know how long you've been doing stuff, and I kindly only recently came to you. So,
well, I have been writing a column on Pathios for about a year, and then I'm actually transitioning now to just primarily doing like a YouTube channel because the writing industry is tanking and there's more money to be made vlogging than blogging.
I know.
But I have a son that has many chronic illnesses, and I have been exposed to many mothers with MPV. And so that's how my
Mingo Mesh says, in her video she made about this video, way back then, I think it was in 2019, she was upset that they sprung on her that they were recording. And I don't see how that was, yeah, I see what you're saying, Mingo. Like Katie says that they sprung it on her, but they just told her in the beginning, listen, we're recording this. I mean, before Katie said anything, before any questions were asked or any discussion began, they came out and told her. So, I mean, I don't see what Katie's problem is. It seems like this is like the second time Katie claims to have run into this problem, here and then with BX Beast Boy. If you have an issue being recorded, when you're told you're being recorded, you can speak up and say something. You can say, no, I don't want to be recorded. Or you can say, I'm done talking. I mean, but she's both times she's like, well, what was I supposed to say? I can't say no at that point. Yeah, you can. No one's going to feel sorry for you because you felt put on the spot. I mean, and you're not even put on the spot. You just feel put on the spot. So I don't know. I find that annoying.
Interest was developed because I became friends with a woman that was doing this to her son.
Oh, I see.
Through the chronic and like life-threatening world. A lot of mothers love that world, right? They like take advantage of every aspect of it. They steal our resources. They take our events. They have a time to do everything that we don't have to do. So they're usually they're easy for moms like me to spot.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, because when you live in this world, their stories never add up. Ever.
Go figure.
They don't speak the right language. Their symptoms of their children are always very vague. They can never talk about things appropriately with other parents that are going through it. And they're constantly like using us to gain knowledge and information. Mm-hmm. And so it was through that I started finding in my groups more mothers that were doing it. And as I was in these groups as a parent, women were getting arrested for doing it. And so people within my own community were getting arrested. And so then I started like digging and finding more and more and more people. One of the first cases I was covering was a woman named Danita Tutt. She's in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with her story. Her son, they were all over the news because her son got a Make-A-Wish from WWE and they picked him up with us. And he was like on People magazine, and it was just ridiculous. And his name was Colby, and he was 51 pounds and 13 years old.
I remember that case.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces of it, but yeah.
Yeah. Bits and pieces, yeah. Now that you're saying different things, yeah, I remember bits and pieces. I just didn't know the names.
And so I started covering that case, and then her best friend, Tara DeMott, reached out to me. And Tara's the one that actually like reported her
Mm-hmm.
and worked with prosecutors and sort of like lost everything. Like Danita, through her lies, was able to turn everyone against Tara. And Tara had to move to another state or another area, like a whole other city. And like even her children won't talk to her because Danita has convinced her that she didn't do anything, even though Danita was tried and convicted of attempted murder. She only got a 5-year prison sentence.
Wow.
Gosh. Wow. So have you seen a lot of these cases? I mean, because it seems like it's become very prevalent lately. I mean,
I don't know that it's more prevalent. I think the advent of social media has made it easier for these women to gain access to knowledge and to use Facebook groups. And I think it's made it it's exposed them more because people are seeing them. There's another woman in Georgia. Her name is Teresa Roth. She was recently arrested. Her son underwent multiple brain surgeries, was in a wheelchair. She had him on oxygen. I mean, he needed none of it.
Wow. It's unbelievable. It really, truly is. So you've been covering this case for a little while, and I remember I reached out. I don't remember what I think it was when the engagement got announced that I reached out because of something. And so much has happened since then that I can't even remember what it was that I was going to tell you was inaccurate, but it was inaccurate. And it was something that I had said, and I don't even remember, like you had quoted me. But the problem that happens is we do an article and then 95 other people take that article and turn it into an article. And then somebody picks up the wrong article and gets like.
Oh, I actually took it from the direct source, which was, I think you had spoken with E-News.
Okay. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. It was something, there was some inconsistencies that were really like, they weren't small, but they weren't large, if that makes any sense. It like didn't make a change in really the whole thing, but I wanted to make sure I really wanted to make sure you had the right facts because I know you cover this case quite often. So I wanted to make sure going forward, you had a source that could give you some more information.
Yeah.
It could have been some of the stuff that we were led to believe too. Some things after all that came out, we started uncovering. It kind of made us look like fools.
Yeah, we've cut ties with the family because it's not just Dee Dee. It was not just Dee Dee, and all of them lie. And it's really upsetting. It's very, very upsetting. In fact, today we even found out more, and it's just.
What do you mean?
This case is a case that you would never. I mean, I've seen other ones. I've seen the Schofield.
Just for anyone just coming in, if you've seen the video clip on Twitter, it's like a shortened clip of this video where Katie was saying some pretty bleak things about autism and saying, including her kid. That's what this video is from. In fact, that clip is towards the end. It's like just past the hour mark, I think. But as soon as I learned that the video was was up on YouTube, I downloaded it. I guess now this video is no longer on YouTube. The two women, their channel, they were the ones who had the video uploaded. So they've since took it down, but that's what this is. So right now we're listening to like the beginning of it and everything. And it's Kate. I mean, like basically like having an interview with these women. Like it's almost like they're interviewing her kind of though, like in a professional aspect. At one point she even refers to herself as a journalist, and it's just it's pretty funny.
I've seen the terpenes. I've looked at a couple other different ones, you know, through investigating this. This case everything else pales in comparison to the absolute layers that this case is. It doesn't.
Oh yeah, because Dee Dee was a malingerer and had Munchausen by proxy, so it wasn't just.
I'm not even sure she had Munchausen. Like, I'll be honest.
Really?
No. Because I mean, here's something.
Maybe in the beginning. Maybe in the beginning. But here, let me correct me if I'm wrong, because this is where I'm thinking, and you know a lot more about it than I do, obviously. So, most Munchausen actually make their children deathly ill, very, very sick, very, very sick by poisoning them or different things. Correct? By giving them specific medications.
Not always.
Very sick.
Not always.
She didn't make her sick at all. She just told her she was sick.
Yeah, that's not, they do that too.
Okay, because it doesn't seem like the rest of the cases. And Gypsy was very complicit in participating.
Well, complicit or abused.
I thought abused until recently.
Why?
When you look at these case files, it has to be somebody who actively participated in deceiving the doctors in what she was deceiving them in. For instance, she had over 10 surgeries on her eyes. She has nothing wrong with her eyes. And the way that she would get these surgeries on her eyes is they would do these exams, and that's a time where Dee Dee can't make that happen. Okay. Like she can't look at something. She has no idea what lens they're showing her when she's looking through the thing. She has no control over her looking at an eye chart and actually reading it. And Gypsy had to fake those results. Had to. And that's one of the biggest things. Like the eye exams is.
I don't remember her age. What was her age, Fancy? Of some of those? Do you remember?
From that was after
2012, wasn't it? 2011, 2012.
Well, more even after that. So that was 2012 through 2015, right up until the murder. So that was really, truthfully her creating that, and they even write that in the files.
Well, you have to understand the abuse and the coercion that goes on with the mothers and the fear that she had. And like, in a lot of aspects, she's not allowed to speak, or Dee Dee's speaking for her, or Dee Dee's coaching her to do what she needs to do.
Yeah, and the other things I can see that, but in an eye exam, I don't see how that's possible.
It's easy for anyone to fake it if she tells them you need to fake this. You know what I mean? Like she just needs to pretend like she can't see things.
But then she has to make the decision to do that.
She has to make the decision to do that, but her mother is going to withhold things from her. Her mother is going to abuse her or do something. It's a fear. It's a psychological fear that she has over her mother, and her mother has over her. And she's doing this from the time that she's very young until the time that she's an adult. So she knows nothing else.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I see where you're coming from with that, but I also see that I just feel like at some point in time, I mean, she started that back when she was 8. She faked her first hearing test when she was 8. And she admits to it, and she knows that she faked it.
But a lot of these children are being taught and coached by their parents to fake things.
Right.
And then they're told, like in Colby's case, you know, he's being told to like say he can't eat. And he's being told by his mother, Danita, that he has pain. And he's told and instructed to tell these people that he has pain. Okay. And that results in them getting him on a ton of pain meds. And it's not until they're separated from their caregiver in a meaningful way, where there's not a fear of them walking in or, you know, that a child will ever get to a point to admit what's going on. And it's not until that separation where they can actually see, like, if you're okay without them, that's how they can diagnose it. but you have to sort of understand there's so much coercion and manipulation and psychological like abuse that goes into this, that they are like basically adhering to what that woman or parent wants.
So then does it become more like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing with the children, you think, because they get older?
Maybe. I think probably, I mean, from what I understand from Gypsy's case and from what I've read and just seen in her, like, and from what the experts have said about her, is that her mother, Dee Dee, had convinced everyone that she had a low IQ. And because of that, she felt no one would believe her if she said anything. And she had guardianship, which is really hard to do.
She didn't.
She didn't have guardianship. She had a power of attorney.
She didn't have that. She didn't have that either.
It was fake.
It was faked. Just fake documents.
So either way, Dee Dee has fake documents. She
Right.
has the community convinced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a question on that too, because if they were told, this is what they were told, and I've heard them come out with different things when they're interviewed. They were all told that she had the IQ of a 7-year-old, but then they also talk about her being very articulate and that they would bring her out for every single charity event for Habitat, and she would speak on the stage because they knew that she would use these huge words and was very articulate and very, she had a charisma, and that she would really move people. So for them to say, well, I think that she has the thought process of a 7-year-old, and then make that same statement. A 7-year-old isn't going to speak like that. A 7-year-old is not going to be able to have that type.
And no developmental person would ever quantify it that way. So that's, again, like Dee Dee not having a doctor and making crap up. You know what I mean? Like, my son has a low IQ, and they don't say, oh, he's like 4. That's just not how it works.
Right. No, I understand. But what I'm saying is how can an entire community think that? Like, I mean, they're not.
Because these women are skilled liars.
Yeah.
Many of them are borderline personality or have borderline behaviors.
Yeah.
And they tell so many lies that they believe them. And so when they believe them, then everyone around them believes them.
Sure.
And so it gets to a point where, and I see this in my own community, they prey on the naivete of everyone else around them. So
Sure.
they're preying on the fact that they don't expect you, Fancy, to think they're lying, because why would she lie, right?
Right.
Why would a parent lie about this sort of thing? And then they're preying on your naivete about medical procedures, diagnostics, testing, medications. And that's why these mothers can't fool mothers like me, because when they start commingling in the communities of other children that are ill, they are spotted and identified and reported. And I think that's why you're seeing it more, because they try harder to be in there. But it's easy for them to convince a layman or just a random person that doesn't have experience, because most people will always assume the best in others.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, I did want to talk with you. I wanted to be a source for you. I did want to, help you along your way with this, because I know you're going to keep looking into it and you're going to be talking about it. We aren't talking with them anymore as far as like current stuff, but I can definitely give you information based on what we have. Like, I have all the medical files and I have all the discovery stuff. And so I have a lot of information that nobody else has ever seen.
Do you think that she's like, that Gypsy lies to this? Like, does she lie to you?
She lies to everybody about everything.
Yes.
She's very manipulative.
Which she learned from her mother.
Right. And it's not being encouraged to get better. It's being encouraged to keep going because there's a payout.
What do you mean?
Because the people that are in her life now are the same people that failed her to begin with.
Right. And they knew what was going on.
Like Christy and Rod?
Yes. There's messages in some of the Facebook groups where Christy admitted to knowing that Gypsy could walk all alone.
There's a lot of information out there that
Just in Facebook groups, and it's stuff we're looking at now. It's been kind of shocking.
So if they knew this all along, why did they?
That is the $1 million question.
That is the $1 million question. Not even kidding. I can see I've blown your mind right there. Like it's unbelievable.
Gypsy is still being failed by the family and the system. She is still being failed to this day.
She's not doing any therapy?
Nope.
No, and she has not requested it. She had access, and she never ever one time requested to go.
We found that out the other day, that she's never once asked to see a doctor and never once asked for the therapist.
And Christy and them have been talking about, oh, well, she needs help, but we don't know how to get it to her. Well, we found out that's not the case. The case is that in jail, she was offered and she declined and never asked to go. And in prison, she has many opportunities and she doesn't want to go. But yet we called that out the other day. And immediately after we called it out, then Christy, who has been, we hadn't been talking and now we are again. But now I've gotten to a point where I just had to let her go again because I can't deal with all the lies that I'm told every day by her. So she talked to me and she's like, oh, well, Dr. Phil, I'm talking to Dr. Phil's people right now to see if they can get somebody in to see Gypsy. Well, that was offered years ago. And they, she said, oh, well, he sent self-help books and he's going to see, his people are going to see her after she gets out. Well, I'm the one who told her, that you can get an injunction for somebody to actually come in and see her.
Yeah.
Your own private. And she's like, oh, well, I didn't know that.
We did find out that prison has an actual psychiatrist they use interns for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to her case, the actual psychiatrist that oversees the rest of them would come in. Because of the extent of this case, of how severe it is. And it's never been asked for, never been sought out. Her new statement is she doesn't need help because Ken is the only thing that she needs to help her go forward.
That what?
Ken is the only person that she needs to help her go forward in life. And that's the fiance, boyfriend, whatever he is.
Huh.
So she now does not believe that anybody can help her but him. And nobody's encouraging her otherwise. When they do, she throws a fit and threatens to push them out of her life.
And then they don't do anything. And I don't think they care because I think that this is a payout for them. This is she had told me for years that she doesn't get paid to go do these things. She does. He does get paid.
She gets paid?
Christy gets paid to go do the Dr. Oz show.
What they're saying here is pretty interesting, and I want to point that out when I get back. But where'd it go? Shoot. Oh, Selfie Queen Cindy says, and Gypsy's dad did try and stop this, but he was made to believe she was sick, but he wanted to help his daughter. And I don't doubt that. I mean, I think I want to say that the parents were like not somewhere in between, like my generation, my parents' generation, and even now there's a lot of fathers that are like too involved with their kids, and in that generation, I think maybe there, was even more so. But still, I mean, how do you not, I'm not trying to rag on the dad or anything. I'm not. I mean, I'm sure he has more regret than anyone in the world. I have no doubt about that. But I just can't imagine though, just not going to any like treatment appointments, any doctor's visits, speaking to any doctors, just, I don't know, just having more of a firsthand approach in your daughter's illness. That baffles me. It does. But what they're talking about here though, I forgot what they're talking about though, but it is interesting. I remember.
Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And she told me for years.
How she, I don't know who they're talking about. It's not the mother, obviously, because the mother's no longer with us, but maybe it's the stepmother or something. Someone gets paid to go on like the Dr. Oz show, the Dr. Phil show, stuff like that. I thought that they didn't pay people. It's the first I've heard of it, but I don't doubt it.
She didn't get paid. until they offered me money to come on the show myself. And that's how I found out that she's been paid all these years. She even messages.
I mean, how much is she getting paid?
$5,000 an episode.
Okay.
So essentially, it's almost like they were doing the exact same thing.
Is it just me, or did anyone else kind of like see the wheels in her head turning there when she heard $5,000 an episode? I'm sorry.
Dee Dee did to her all these
She
years.
messages when she wants to go on a trip, when Christy wants to go on a trip and doesn't want to pay for it and wants to get away, she messages Dr. Oz's people or Dr. Phil's people or so-and-so's people and asks them to have her on as a guest again so that she.
They don't have any credentials to speak on this, from what I understand. Like they know the family, like they've been involved, or they've involved themselves maybe with the family for some time at this point. They're looking to make a TV show, basically. I don't know. You can tell that they're in it just for that reason. You know, they're not really, I don't know, maybe they started off caring about the family and about Gypsy, but either they're like too close, or they've been too close for too long and they just became like kind of desensitized to the whole thing, or maybe they just, you know, they just want to, you know, hurry up and make their project or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that's the extent of their qualifications.
That she can get a free trip and have time away.
Wow.
And please don't release that at this time, because we're not releasing this at this time.
No.
We've called a proverbial truce in the media right now, so that nothing comes out on her saying anything about us and us saying anything about her, you know, because we just don't need that right now. And she doesn't. It's a convoluted mess, let me tell you.
Well, how did you get involved with them?
I started 2 years ago, two and a half years ago, right after Mommy Dead and Dearest was coming out. It hadn't been released yet. It had just been announced that it was coming out. And I saw it because I'm an avid true crime person. And it was the very first time I've ever gone into a Facebook group to look for information or anything like that, because, you know, when I had looked into true crime before, Facebook groups weren't a big thing. You know, you watched a documentary, you did some research, maybe, you know, through books or the internet, but Facebook wasn't this huge thing where they had these groups and stuff and people talking about it. Well, so I went into one of the groups and I just saw people bashing the crap out of her. And I don't know why they were bashing Christy. Like, this is a stepmom. What did she know? You know, and so I sent her a message and reached out to her and basically told her, you know, I am a filmmaker. I'm not a big time filmmaker. I'm just a little time filmmaker, but maybe somebody needs to tell the truth in a different way, because a lot of people don't watch documentaries, you know? So I pitched her a scripted series, and then I had to wait for 6 months because she was still under contract with HBO. And so basically I just did my own research and built a friendship with her, or what I thought was a friendship with her. And then for the last 2 years, I've been involved in the research and everything for this TV series that I've been doing. Closely involved with Gypsy, closely involved with the family. I went down.
Is that show not going to happen?
No, the show's going to happen. The point is they don't want the show to happen. Not now, because they really thought that they could control what me and my team were going to put out there. And the second that we showed that we were still, you know, we've always said we were all about the truth, good, bad, ugly. And that was fine until good, bad, ugly became good, bad, ugly about them, and not just good, bad, ugly, period, about everybody else.
About Dee Dee.
About Dee Dee.
Have you guys, in the midst of this, and I'm sure have you consulted with doctors related to all of this to clarify what this is going on and that?
Yep. We have a full medical research team. We've reached out to Mark Feldman and Louisa Lasher, who are both huge, you know, MSBP experts.
And what do they say?
We're just now starting to work with them personally. You know, we've kind of followed what Mark's said all along, and I've listened to some of the things that Louisa has put out there.
in the public eye. You know, she did a podcast, she's done a couple things, but we're just starting to really get into it with them. But we have, like I said, we also have a full medical team that has been researching and doing and going through the files. Like, the fact that we have the medical files is a huge thing. And the person who heads up our medical part, she was also Dee Dee's best friend in high school. So it's very personal for her. And her whole thing was she wanted to give Gypsy this comprehensive look at what actually happened to her. And the more and more we look into it, the more and more questions we have. And it's just, it's exhausting. I'll be honest.
Having those experts with the MVP will be like critical though, because
Yes.
I think that it's, even if she's doing these things, she's not the one that started it.
No, she's not. Definitely.
Right.
We believe that it all comes from Dee Dee, but also Dee Dee wasn't the only one who failed her. Her dad failed her. Her mom's family failed her. They knew too. There's things that they've told us that they knew. And
I think a lot of people just in these situations, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times they don't want to believe it, or they don't
dad
know
chose to not be involved.
Well, it's not even that the dad chose not to be involved.
No, he chose. I'm not even going to dispute that with you. He chose to not be involved. He chose.
That's a good question. Carolyn Pierce asks, didn't Gypsy stop speaking to her dad because of these women? I have no idea. So seems like y'all in chat know a lot more about this than I do. So maybe you guys can answer her.
He also chose to give up another child legally to another woman that had a child after Gypsy was born 5 months later.
Okay.
He chose. There's a difference. And that's the things that you think that you know are because of what your experience is with this type of case. But what I'm going to tell you is this case beats all those cases. It's not, and when the sheriff came out and told you and made that press conference of saying everything that you think you know in this case, you don't know, that is every single day of my life for the last 2 years.
Sure. Every day, we actually almost want to replay that in a GIF, because it's like every day.
Every day. I could just apply that to every single thing. And so, like, I understand where you're coming from, and I totally was that way up until probably a month and a half ago. And then things started to come out when I was given the interrogation video that was hidden for years. Things got nasty because I released that video, and it doesn't make Gypsy look good.
What do you mean?
Have you seen the video?
Rita, and then
oh, she's cute.
I'm surprised my cats aren't up here watching while we're talking.
Not only the 2 hours before, while she was sitting in there talking to the other detectives before the detectives from Missouri got there.
Yeah.
But once she goes into the actual interrogation, it's terrible. It makes her look really, really bad. She never admits to anything. Never.
And in the end, I mean, you are right. In the end, if it not be for Dee Dee, she would not be like this right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just Dee Dee who failed her. That's the thing.
But everybody failed this poor girl.
Willingly
and are still failing her today.
Same.
Still failing her.
Yeah.
Still. And it's gut wrenching.
Why is everyone in her family saying that she's using services?
They don't. All they've ever said is that she's done anger management classes, and she does group, like an AA group, but yet it's like for people that, like, you know, have been through something. It's just, it's nothing more than like if you were to go to like a group therapy session for maybe grief, or a group therapy session, like I said, for like an AA meeting. She's not getting help, and they've never encouraged her to get help.
And they don't even respond to her comments about just needing Ken and Ken being all the therapy she's going to do. They make no comment, none. If they do, she cuts them out.
Just like Dee Dee did to other people. So it's a continuing behavior now. And Gypsy's making no steps to change the behavior.
Well, I think, didn't Dr. Phil, when he interviewed her, told her that she would be at risk for repeating this because all she's learned how to do is manipulate?
Yep.
Yes, but when Dr. Phil came out and said that he was concerned about her relationship with Ken,
Yeah.
he's decided he no longer counts as a voice of reason in her life.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get the help from him now.
It's scary. We're very scared for her. We're very scared for her.
Yeah.
And what is this? What's with Ken?
Ken's
Not a pen pal she met.
Ken's the guy she's engaged to.
Right, I know, but what's this story about?
He wrote back and forth for a while and decided they were in love. Kind of like her and Nick. It's almost identical to the story of her and Nick.
That's what it sounded like when she was describing it to E! News.
Yes.
It's identical. Everything.
It's very fantasy based and not real. And it's the same pattern of behavior. So she got upset with me and one of our other co-producers because we did an article in Touch about the concern about the not just the engagement, but the fact that they were rushing into a marriage while she's still in prison. It was a very nice article. It was not in any way, shape, or form hateful or mean. It was.
Yeah, JJ brings up a good point. I have no idea. Can I get struck for playing this? I mean, it is fair use? Okay. I have no idea. I mean, I know like sometimes, or at least I don't know if this is just what I've heard or what I've seen other YouTubers do. Like they'll play like a little bit, or they'll play it like at a different speed or something. I guess that changes it somehow, or I don't know. But TK, I got here late. Who are the two women with KJ? Yeah, the other two women, they run or they're associated with the Facebook page by proxy. I guess that they were involved with the family. Like I want to say this was 2019. I think it was 2019. Just looking at her setup in there, I think it was 2019. So these two women were involved with Gypsy, the family. They were looking, or they were working towards doing some sort of documentary, like a TV series, I think maybe, or a mini series or something. I don't know, but apparently it looks like that fell through or something. I don't know, but at the time though, someone kind of hooked them up with Katie, and this was like their initial meeting. They're I don't know, like interviewing each other, but it's almost like they're interviewing Katie more, it seems. I think, I don't know, as long as you every 10 or 20 seconds make a comment or opinion. But okay, so I have to just keep butting in then. Is that it? Well, I don't know. Did you guys want to keep watching it? Because we left off it's like right around, so yeah, it's like a half an hour or so left, I think. 1:30. Yeah, about a half an hour or so left. Or oh no, it's okay, don't worry about it. Or if you want, I mean, if you guys kind of had enough of this, I can go back to the autism part where Katie makes all those horrible comments about autism, so we can all hear that again, or people who haven't heard that yet can hear that. Thank you, JJ. No, thanks for looking out. I have no idea. So, I mean, I think the most I've done is like watch like music videos on YouTube until like a year ago. So you want to watch the rest? Okay. Yes, keep watching. Okay, got it. I guess just to play safe though, I'm gonna have to interrupt, I guess, every now and then.
Yeah. Response to something that somebody had taken out of context, so we actually wanted to let everybody know.
Wait, the video, it doesn't look like the video is up on their channel anymore. I don't know if that makes a difference. Just throwing that out there. I don't know. It was up there, though, I know.
Know that what I said was out of real concern for Gypsy and not anything else. So we did that article. It absolutely infuriated her. And then everything else that anybody has done that shows her in any way, shape, or form no good light, or talk about Ken or anything, she began to cut Christy off and basically told her, it's the same pattern of behavior, because what we saw in the interrogation video, and if you go watch it, you'll see, is this was not about medical abuse. The reason she wanted out was not medical abuse. It was just fine to sit in a chair and continue her life being medically abused. And maybe she didn't realize it. I don't know. I have to continue to look into that. But the reason she chose to do what she did was about a boy. And the same pattern of behavior is happening with this guy. So anytime anyone says anything about him, questions it,
Did she really just say that it wasn't that Gypsy, like what she did had nothing to do with like medical abuse? Or, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, maybe she didn't like specifically know that she was being abused, like per se, but she had to know that she had no control over her body or her life. I mean, maybe she didn't know the exact terminology for what she was feeling, but that's abuse. Yeah, being perfectly fine being abused. Yeah, that's crazy. The videos. Do you have a link, Belinda? I couldn't find it because I can play it. If I play it off their channel, then well, they at least get the view, and I can do like 2 times the speed or something, or maybe not 2 times, but 1.5. Yeah, yeah. Wow.
tells her to wait or tries to give her any type of real meaningful advice. And I'm not just talking myself. This is anybody who is in her life at all that, you know, speaks to her on a regular basis, that actually has a relationship with her. She turns on them, and she begins this whole pattern of like isolation and manipulation. Like she told Christy, "You're uninvited to the wedding." And all these different things. And it's the same pattern of behavior. It's not killing Christy, but in a way it was, because it was emotionally manipulating Christy and making her feel horrible for even saying anything negative or being concerned for her or anything. So this pattern with these boys is very detrimental, and it's scary.
You think she would like kill again?
I don't know if she'd kill again, but I definitely think she'll manipulate and do things that, you know, I mean, we spoke with a person who worked her pod and knew her very well. And her thing was, is she felt that within 1 to 2 years of being released, that she would be back in prison again.
She felt like it would be more like identity theft kind of thing.
All her mom, I mean, all Dee Dee did was lie. All
And that's all she knows.
Yeah. And I'm
That's
sure
all
she
she knows.
has some sort of personality disorder, like borderline or I mean, I would guess borderline because of the trauma.
Right. I mean, that's
Like, does she like intensely love and then like equally hate just as fast? Like,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, I would guess that she's probably borderline.
Yeah.
And we've got about 4 minutes left.
She definitely fits borderline personality.
Mhm.
There's a lot of narcissism there, but again, all of that's been learned behavior. Every bit
Yeah,
of it.
and narcissism and borderline kind of overlap and
Have each other. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
they look like each other, but they're not like the same.
Right.
But 25, I was just talking about another celebrity, Amber Portwood, who is a teen mom. She has borderline, but I also
Yes.
think she also has narcissism too.
Mhm.
And I was on the NAMI website, and they said 25% of people that have it are also narcissists.
Yeah, well, what we're seeing is this, like, oh, I want my privacy. Oh, I don't want anybody I want the media stuff to end. Like, that was one of the reasons why she was like, well, I don't want to work with you anymore, because if you do your show and you keep doing what you're doing, no one's ever going to stop talking about me. And I was like, honey, no one's ever going to stop talking about you regardless. It doesn't matter whether my show is made or doesn't made. You're in the media, and that's what's going to happen. And
Yeah, I mean,
Then she sent out email.
killers on the internet, and now Christy is all BFFs with her. And Gypsy sends her emails, and it's crazy BFFs with her. Night looking runs that you say woman who hurt her everything, and now her mom, you know, Christy is over there with a woman who has done everything for the last 6 months to try and do anything to destroy them. She tried to get the fraud case opened back up on Gypsy. She's tried to say that Gypsy, currently, right now, there's a page that she runs that calls Gypsy a retard by day and a sex-crazed horn dog by night, looking for internet killers on the internet. And now Christy is all BFFs with her. And Gypsy sends her emails, and it's crazy, Katie. I'm telling you, this is not your normal average case it's insanity every day. But then she's telling people, oh, I want to be private, but then she's calling E-News and doing an exclusive interview with them.
They're not paying her, right?
Not Gypsy. No, not those, but like the Oz Show and Dr. Phil and stuff like that pay Christy. So, but no, like E-News does not, they don't pay her. But I mean, we've got about 2 minutes left on the Zoom because I have like a free account, so I don't do the paid.
Oh,
we can always call back in if you want to talk longer, but
no, I'm captivated. Like, we have to end now.
You're like,
This
what?
is our life. This is our life. This is it.
This is my life every day, and everything I thought I knew has been crumbled, and it's very sad. Like, I was literally just crying on the phone with Brandy not even just an hour ago because
That was the second time today.
yeah, because more stuff came out today, and it just broke my heart. And
Like what came out today?
well,
Stuff about Christy. Some of the more
Christy, and now she's feeding all this information to this woman who months ago she was begging me to find out how to not release any information to her, and now she's willingly handing it to this woman to just tote around. I mean, it's crazy. All right, let's exit out and call right back in.
I'll call from my phone because I gotta go get
No problem.
How do I call back in with the same
Just
link?
go ahead and click the same link. It'll bring you right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Thank
Hello.
Hey, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
So yeah, I mean, like, it's just unbelievable. And a mother who would care about Gypsy would have nothing to do with this woman. Nothing. But it's like, well, no, Christy would have nothing to do with the woman that she is now giving information to and is and associating with. Like, if she,
So why is Christy associating with this woman?
because it's good for Christy.
Is she mad at Gypsy now?
No.
And this woman doesn't like Gypsy.
She's done this over and over again. It's not just, it's she's gone through group after group after group. She burns out of groups, Facebook groups. She causes all this drama. She goes in, she deletes all of her comments, she leaves. She goes on to another group of people. People are now, they've screenshotted everything she says now because she's so inconsistent in what she says. And she is just one lie after another lie after another lie that people just continuously screenshot what she says because 1 minute it's this and the next minute it's that. And then, I mean, it's all about making Christy look good. It's all about Christy wanting attention. I mean, she's just as attention seeking as Dee Dee. In fact, I told her today when I got so upset and blocked her, I literally had to block her today. I told her, you're worse than 9,000 Dee Dees because this is different. It's not a sickness. Like if Dee Dee really did have Munchausen by proxy, that's an illness in their brain.
Yeah.
Are not ill. You are just really, you're just excited because you're in the news and it makes you feel important and you look good and you want to look good. And whenever we started to uncover anything that made any of them not look good, then that's when the break began to happen. And I'm thankful for it because I feel like it's the only way we'll get a truthful telling of the story now. But
Well, and Christy's main concern right now for the very first thing for Gypsy to do when she gets out is to get a nose job. I mean, that to me was boring. A nose job. I can't see. Was there an expression? Because I'm on the phone, I can't see.
oh, the look on her face was priceless. It was priceless.
Yes, she posted that in one of the groups within the last couple of days. That the plan is they're getting her a nose job. It's the first thing they're doing when she gets out.
It's not a very attractive nose, but not the first thing I would do when you get out of
No therapy.
Right, that would not be my concern when I got out.
Yeah, no, that was Mm-hmm.
Are they hoping Gypsy can never profit off of this?
Yes, she can.
She can.
There's no Son of Sam laws in either Louisiana or Missouri.
Disgusting.
Yep. They've actually been abolished in a lot of states. People don't know that, but it is the thing. And so, yeah, I mean, she can write a book. She can do all kinds of things.
Wow.
It's very upsetting. It's a law that states that you can't profit off of a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's asking.
Oh.
She's 6 years old. She was asking me, what is a Son of Sam law? She doesn't know.
I can't, for the life of me, understand.
Nope. No logical person could.
No, and we had the inside information interview that we had the other day. I literally cried. I mean, because I am one of those that have been 110% Gypsy. Everybody else was just being mean. She's not making anything up. And then to have that.
Yeah, I agree. Where is that? Solo 7 says, how can people like this make a documentary? And like I said earlier, maybe they've just been too close to the situation for too long and they're desensitized. I don't know. Or maybe it's just like another day on the job or at work or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, they're very flippant with with everything. I mean, whether it's Gypsy, anything that Gypsy's experiencing, whether it internally or externally in her life, there's very dismissive about it. Yeah, Just Brett, I hear you. But I think that's definitely part of it. But I also, I don't know. It just seems like some people are kind of afraid to go against her even too, I think. I don't know. I mean, you obviously weren't, but I think some people are. But all right.
That interview and to be slapped in the face with facts of her lying, that it knocked the wind out of me. And I told Fancy, I need a couple days. I've got to cross that stuff. This was a lot. Because I don't want to believe it. I want her to be that poor child that was so severely abused technically she was so severely abused that it has affected her. But man, I mean, the layers.
But it's affected her so badly that I think she crossed from being the abused child that was the victim to being her own perpetrator now as well. Like it's a crossover. I don't know if that's because this is one of the only cases that ran on as long as it did. So maybe that's it. I truly don't know, and I'm trying to understand that aspect of it because it's not your average case. It really is.
There's nothing black and white here. This is not black and white. There are so many colors.
He never tried to actually go see her. And she didn't leave Louisiana until she was 14 years old. She lived in the same city as him until she was 14 years old.
And her dad never saw her?
Hardly ever.
Did Dee Dee try to keep him away?
I mean, to some extent, yeah. But then again, he never took her to court. He never questioned it. Pardon me?
No. The area of Louisiana they're in is very close knit. So they would have seen each other going to the grocery store kind of thing. I mean, it wasn't like big city areas where you could lose people quickly.
The town is about the size of my house. Not kidding you.
Yeah, I mean, that whole area is really small.
I'm sure though that, I mean, these women like Dee Dee, they do have a really good way of isolating the men.
Right.
But he didn't try.
Well, I'm sure he didn't. He had it easy, probably.
He didn't try. He didn't take.
Why does he care now?
Because I think if he didn't, he'd look like an asshole on national television. And I think
he reminds me a lot of my dad. That it was just easier out of sight, out of mind. If I don't have to, I can just sit back and let everybody else worry about it. And now it's in my face. I have to.
And he does. And he still doesn't really. I mean, he's offshore. Most months out of the year, so he has little interaction with her. I mean, what does he do? He visits her, for a couple of days every couple of months, and then goes home to his life with his wife and his children, and that's it. I mean, he's still not like it. His whole thing was, well, I told her one time that I wish she would wait to get married instead of getting married in prison, and I don't know what else to do. That was his whole statement. I don't know.
Well, he doesn't have a relationship or even a pull to do anything.
No, but he won't even try. My husband, if my daughter did something like that, my husband would be emphatic about telling her, no, this is, I don't want you to do this. I love you. Please don't do this. All those different.
But if he's never established any kind of relationship with her, why would he care anyway?
Right.
He probably doesn't.
No, I feel
right.
No, our whole thing is we think that, he has this petition, the petition that he's had going for 2 years.
Those petitions do nothing.
Okay, well, first of all, they do nothing. Second of all, he's never actually bothered to take it to the governor. I've asked and I've asked and I've asked because I was going to arrange for a rally and different things to show support for her and do the different stuff, and never. Nope. He doesn't even so he made it, but yet does absolutely nothing. I'm the one who got it up to 200,000 signatures by putting it in touch and promoting it on our Facebook channel, our Facebook page, and talking about it constantly. I'm the one who did that up until the point where I came in contact with the petition and put it out there. It had 5,000 signatures. Now it has almost 200,000 signatures. But it's not going to do anything, first of all. But that's his answer to helping her. It's not getting her therapy. It's not talking to her about making, changes in her life. It's not.
Well, so Dee Dee, Gypsy is asking all these people to write letters.
Isn't Gypsy still in jail? Or at least she was when this interview was conducted anyways? I thought, she's still in jail now, isn't she? I mean, how much can the father do if she's still in jail? I mean, apart from visiting her. I mean, I don't understand what these women are expecting from him, because they're like giving him shit, or prison, yeah. They're like giving him shit for only visiting her a few days a month or something. I mean, what's he supposed to do? He's around. He had a relapse and is clean. Oh, okay. I didn't know he had an addiction problem. But I mean, regardless, though, I mean, she's still in prison. I mean, what? It's not like he can like take care of her or like monitor her or like bring her to work or make sure that she sees a doctor. I mean, she's in prison. Oh, really? Not till 2024? Wow.
No governor is going to grant, no parole board is going to give her early release if she doesn't do anything.
Right.
We know.
And that's what nobody's telling her. If you got to do this work in order to be seen as rehabilitated.
You don't
They
just
don't see her as rehabilitated.
Yes, you were abused, but you didn't have to kill her.
No, exactly.
Right.
And she planned that for a year. Like, I mean, every day for a year, intensive planning. It's
Why
not
why. I mean, did she ever say to you why she didn't just leave?
because according to her, she thought she could.
She did leave one time, and Didi found her.
Right, but that was a year or two before. And
Right.
I mean, I don't know. She's ever given me a good
She had said that she just didn't think that her mom would just find her, and she felt like
Right. But she even said that she wasn't in contact with her dad, and we've found that she was in contact with her dad. She had a secret account where she spoke to her dad. So the fact that she didn't tell her dad because she didn't trust her dad, that's a lie. It's a lie. I wasn't in contact with my dad. Yes, she was in contact with her dad.
Has Louisa and any of them, have they looked at any of this stuff and given you any feedback?
Not yet. That's where we're at right now, is getting them to look at everything and see that stuff, because it's mind-boggling.
Because I think of like Janny Schofield, and she's now away from her mother.
Yes.
And literally wants nothing to do with her.
Right.
And is doing everything she can to get better.
Right. You would think. Yeah.
And Janny has a developmental disability.
Yep. Right. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Gypsy other than the life she lived.
So she's kind of like a con artist. And her mom somehow convinced her to be part of the con. Sorry. My phone's dying and I'm trying to get it. Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's what we're seeing at this point. And I mean, I understand it's still abuse. It's still learned condition, it's all still that. But the fact of the matter is she has been away for 4 years now. Okay. Her mother has been gone. She's been in prison. She was on a ward that she was given special privileges and extra time and things like that. And she blew it. She did things where she got herself thrown off that ward because of things that she did. Like somebody asked her and approached her to put money on her books for them and give it to them to use in the commissary. She knows that's illegal. She knew it was illegal. She knew it wasn't right. She went ahead and did it. She got in massive trouble, and she could have actually copped another felony charge for it, but the warden chose not to do that. He just took her off and took her privileges away. Is that why she can't talk on the phone as much anymore? No, that's a prison-wide thing. That's a prison-wide thing. Yeah, that has nothing.
And another thing that happened that was kind of telling was that she tried to get a guard in trouble because the guard refused to be buddy-buddy with her.
Mm-hmm. Huh. She filed an actual grievance against the guard trying to get her in trouble.
Saying that they knew each other because they went to the same stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Because this officer, this guard was involved in, she does Vision Con and everything. And so one of the inmates would ask her what she had done over the weekend, because that's what they do, because they don't have a life. So she answered, "Oh, I went to Vision Con, blah, blah, blah." So then Gypsy immediately ran up to her and was like, "Oh, I was big in Vision Con and she was like, "Yeah, I know, Gypsy. Okay, I know." And so that upset Gypsy. So she walked away because she didn't get the response she wanted from this guard. And then the next morning, the guard was brought in and a grievance had been filed against the guard stating that she should not be working that pod because they had a previous relationship. He had never laid eyes on Gypsy one time. Just that they had gone to Vision Con at some point in time with thousands of people and could have possibly crossed paths.
Them and 2,000 of their other friends, you know.
Right. So it's not, I mean, it's a different story. I mean, that's the thing. And that's what we're working on, and it's really hard. It's
I think we came up with earlier that we could do a whole series on each person involved in this case.
Do you
There's
think
just that much.
like, do you think she's a danger to society? Yeah.
I think she'll
Yeah.
she'll scam people, and I think,
Sadly, I didn't believe that until recently.
yeah, I didn't either.
I was a holdout for that one until just recently. I worry. I'm very worried for her and her ability to make appropriate decisions.
And I think the reason that they don't talk to her about Ken and being concerned about that is because it's much easier for her to come out and be married and go to Ken than for them to have to deal with her.
Right.
So it's another abandonment almost of just like, oh, well, you're someone else's problem now, you're not mine. Unbelievable. I know.
What's Ken like?
He's a douche.
Is he?
He's a bartender. He's a 28-year-old bartender.
And he's a narcissistic a-hole. He's very rude. He's very dismissive. He's controlling.
I'm a 46-year-old bartender. What the hell's wrong with that? I've also been doing it though since I was 20. Just want to give you guys a heads up too, because Teaspiracy starts at 9, so I didn't want to run past 9 o'clock. I know a lot of people want to check out what she has, and I do too, and and I don't want to overlap into her shit anyways. But I was going to show my new video too. It's like 14 minutes long. So if I'm going to do that, then I need to start that in like 3-4 minutes or so. Just want to let you know, but if you want, I can keep playing this. So if you want me to keep playing this for the next 20 minutes, well, about 15-20 minutes, I think there's left on it, then 1. If you want me to stop in like 3 minutes and play my new video, then 2. I'll go back to playing this for now, though.
He doesn't.
He pops into Facebook groups and makes weird, ugly comments and starts drama, and then pops back out.
He was told.
I would love to see these screenshots.
Okay, so the lady that Christy is now friends with and is working with and giving all this information to, which, mind you, she's just a random person. She is never going to make a show or anything like that, okay? So there's no reason for Christy to even give her stuff other than the fact that Christy just wants to piss me off, for one, and 2, she wants to continue to stay relevant so people will still continue to follow her and talk to her. And she still has something to go do. This woman, 6 months ago, released Ken's mugshot. Now, it's not a bad mugshot. It's a mugshot for a suspended license. Like, it's not like he's like, some criminal or anything like that. He had a suspended license. He got pulled over. He went to jail.
The way that she described him, it's almost like he sounded like Nick.
Yes. Oh,
yes, very much.
Okay, so so that woman released his mugshot. I told him not to go in the group. A moderator of her group specifically messaged me a screenshot saying if he comes into this group because he requested to go into the group.
Okay, so I shared the link to this video. It's on the channel Murder by Design. It's from September 13, 2019. Here's the title: True Crime Case, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Katie Paulson interview from Without a Crystal Ball full. You read the description too. It's very, I'm not going to go into it now because I have like 15 minutes or so before Teaspiracy starts, but definitely read the description because they explain why it is that they shared this video, why they posted it, because Katie, is in Katie fashion, kind of just burned the bridge there and kind of screwed them over. So they released the whole video, just to kind of point out her inconsistencies, I suppose. So, but I'm going to, did you hear KJ's here? What the that's not even a drink. Oh my God, that's gross. Okay. But okay, so yeah, I just finished this video today. It's almost entirely covering the whole Katie Joy and Amber Portwood fiasco or whatever that happened. What was it? I think that was 2019 too.
This is a stream I have been thinking about for a couple days and was like, do I do this? Do I not do this?
Oh, who am I kidding? I knew all along I was going to make this video.
Stressful few days for me, extremely stressful for me. And of some lives that Amber Portwood did about me on Instagram to more than 3,000 people.
I'm not really happy about this, and I'm not really smiling.
You know, I should expect as part of a job in reporting, I have dealt with a lot of people that have been upset with things that I have shared or things that I've reported. I have had several, you know, people that who I've reported on threatened to sue me, and media is protected under the First Amendment.
I don't just have freedom of speech, I also have freedom of the press. So that's not just a freedom, that's like a freedom with an extra life.
The teen mom fan base is different. I would say much different. People are relentless. There is a lot of toxic bullying on this world.
Which means this community kind of fits me like a glove.
And on this page, I talk a lot about not blindly following me just because I do what I do. I hope if I was doing something that you would call me out and say like, hey, I don't really appreciate that. What I was reporting on was a story related to Amber Portwood. And to be honest, I wasn't doing coverage related to teen mom until Janelle Eason lost her children briefly to CPS because I am an advocate for children.
Well, unless they're a brat.
What it's like to be consistently abused by your perpetrator online and through friends. Hell, Tati Westbrook sent me a cease and desist letter because I wrote an article about the properties of her vitamins and what harm these specific properties could do to you if you took too much of it, and how it's not scientifically proven. And I got letters from her basically claiming that they had a PubMed article that said that, so I couldn't say that. And it wasn't true, and I never took things down. And, you know, it's, you kind of learn to weather the storm. I've had to get really good at understanding like what I can say, what I can't say, how to say things, how to correct things. I learned so much about the legal components of libel, defamation. And I know firsthand what I can do and what I can't do. And I always balance those thoughts before I ever release things. And I don't want to get sued. I don't want to put out things that could potentially harm someone. What came to me over the course of several months was a lot of audio. I was trusted because of my advocacy and what I've done with providing people a platform. Amber Portwood isn't my first time I've tried to help people.
I'm just trying to help. I can't believe that she's not more appreciative of my help.
I don't think anyone wanted us to be here today. You know what I mean? Nobody wanted this to be the story.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not complaining.
And so then I put it out, and then that got Amber upset, and she didn't like that. She didn't like some of the statements I made that were my opinions, and which then prompted Amber to go on multiple Instagram lives. She went live on Sunday night for hours talking about me, threatening me, talking about flying to Minnesota, taking me down, just intimidating me, telling me that I was lying, that I was being untruthful. And really all the information I put out was just what was provided to me, and then my narrative provided by the source. And then there you go.
That's not true. And literally you make a lot of money off of clicks. And for you, honey, it's a lot of money. Because you don't have a job. I know you don't have a job. I know your email. I know your address, because we had to get that for court reasons. And all types of things like that. Not for anything else. I wasn't the one that got it anyway. Like court things, court reasons, so you can get what you're getting. Also, you know, I just think that you got yourself into a situation with, you know, with something that you can't handle.
So she said, I know where you live. she's threatening me. And she's threatening me by intimidation.
I barely sleep at night because of this. I mean, literally, I'm trying to move forward, and it seems like there's a whole team of people that just want to abuse me over and over and over again because they are bitter.
So she just claimed there that I'm abusing her, which I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. I just lied and said that she was talking about me for hours, and she threatened me, and she threatened to fly to Minnesota to take me down. I mean, that's not abuse, though.
I promise you I'm not abusing her. I've never made any threats to her. I've never shown up at her house. I've never tried to hurt, physically harm her.
And you tell your fans that you're not going to talk about me. You tell your fans you're not going to give information that isn't yours. Well, you did give information. Your name is connected to certain things. There's sources that have already came out against you. You just don't know about yet.
Again, she's threatening me, saying that I've given out information that wasn't hers. She's threatening me and saying that people have come forward. I have receipts that you're doing things. I know what you're doing. All of these are unveiled threats. And she's, again, saying this to 2,500 people. And while I am very concerned about those threats, I know her history. I have her judgment, obviously, from the court that calls her a violent offender. And I'm fearful.
Yep. A fearful rat.
And I don't like to say that lightly. So I sent that information to the prosecutor. All of it. All of the videos. I sent screenshots of threats I've received from her fans. She is on probation, and she's not supposed to be committing crimes while she is on probation. She should not be threatening people while she's on probation.
Because in Katie's world, when someone from Minnesota makes a claim against you while you're on probation, you're already convicted and punished without even so much as a police report.
The prosecutor saw it and they said, yep, absolutely. This will be sent to her probation officer. If there's anything else or if anything else comes up, let me know. If you feel like if you are unsafe, please contact your police and file a police report. Which, I still don't know where to do that. So I'm still the prosecutor's still helping me with that.
Yeah, I'm not used to having to call my own local police myself. Usually the people around me do that for me when they call them on me.
But you guys, I'm a reporter. I'm protected under the First Amendment. I am reporting on a public story. Yes, do I add my opinion?
And by opinion, I mean myself to the story.
Yes, but I also state that I have opinions. Do I present the facts? Yes.
Well, the facts as I see them.
Have I been sensitive to the victims in this case? Yes.
I've been very considerate of the victim in this case. Once I made myself the victim in this case.
Don't get mad that I block you. No one would want to hear that kind of stuff. And I shouldn't have to take that kind of verbal abuse from anyone. I would never verbally abuse you.
Why would I do that when I can just tell lies about you?
Not wanting to deal with the heat that's on her. She's deflecting.
I am kind of an expert in deflection.
In my opinion, onto me and to anyone else so that she doesn't have to be the one to blame. Sometimes the hardest thing in life is admitting that you're wrong.
Well, unless you're never wrong.
Now, Grace said that she thought it was odd because we saw the other outlets like the Ashley and Us Weekly who talked about the audio, but she didn't actually, the network didn't actually show the audio from my site, which is who released it. I was the first outlet that reported it. I was the one that was provided it. In fact, I'm going to share some more audio with you tonight. I was provided more than 15 clips. I possess audio that has not even been released yet.
And this audio, unlike the other audio, was not recorded on the ring cam. Therefore, Amber had no idea that this was being recorded.
The audio comes out and suddenly there's all this attention on Amber and then Amber's online. She screams at me on Instagram lives a lot of times, right? And in those Instagram lives, she says that she's going to sue me. She's going to show up at my house. So she said, you made $10K and that's a lot of money for you, girl, but that's not a lot of money for me. But I made you that money. And I don't know how she even came up with that number. She threatened to sue me. She said, I know where you live. I don't even remember all the things that she said.
And literally you make a lot of money off of clicks. And for you, honey, it's a lot of money. Because you don't have a job. I know you don't have a job. I know your email. I know your address, because we had to get that for court reasons. And all types of things like that. Not for anything else. I wasn't the one that got it anyways. It was literally, and I mean, you look tired. Yeah, I am really tired, guys. I'm super tired. I barely sleep at night because of this. I mean, literally, I'm trying to move forward, and it seems like there's a whole team of people that just want to abuse me over and over and over again because they are bitter. For some odd reason. But I mean, obviously, like,
Andrew did everything. He took care of the house. He did the laundry. He was going shopping. He was running errands. He was taking care of James. And on top of that, he was taking care of Amber. And on top of that, Amber wasn't spending any time with her son.
Why does that sound familiar? Why do I feel like I know another family where the father takes care of the kid and the mother and the house and everything while the mother hangs out in a room all day?
Ashley sat on a story, and I called her out for it. Ashley knew that Amber had punched him in the face in August 2018. She knew because MTV told her. I called her out on that. I said, why wouldn't you report that, Ashley? Do you think MTV might have said, you don't get to talk about that, Ashley? Because I think Ashley gets kickbacks from MTV.
Yeah, because everyone knows that if you want a reporter to not report something, you first tell them all about it.
You don't know anything, blah, blah, blah. Because I have had so much hate. And you guys wonder why I'm dragged all the time. It's because of this. It's because of Amber. She told her fans to go after me, and they do, and they still do. They are in groups on Facebook. They are all over Twitter. She even sent Matt.
Wait a second. So he wasn't my friend first?
And if you want to keep coming at me and being like, Katie, oh, and I'm being like, she's such a bitch. I can't believe it. Share and tag MTV makes them accountable. So Harley.
Technically, that's not me encouraging viewers to go mass attack someone.
Harley, I love you. She just had a baby. She just had a baby. She had a baby. And when you just blindly support someone and you don't hold them accountable, that's called enabling.
And I have the best enablers.
Okay, now it's time for member shout-outs. I'd like to thank JJ, Skyvision, Karma Kid 101, Sleepy Superhero, Shaz Z, Mingo Mish, Camilla, Karen Bluebird, Leah, Carolyn Pierce, Laura Nelson, Gary McLaughlin, Jeanette Stevens, Yellow Submarine. Okay, I'm going to stop that because it's 8:59 and I know T-Spiracy starts in like a minute or less. So I'm going to say goodnight so you guys and I can join you too over at T-Spiracy. So, and Claire, you need to get here earlier. Or are you going live tonight, Claire? Well, I'll see if you go live. I have notifications turned on for you. So, no, it's because you're an asshole. Yeah, exactly. Yep, that sums it up. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. All right, I'll see you guys over at T-Spiracy. Bye. Thanks for coming.